We are on page 158. The top of the page starts with the your turn. Question number 4, let's read it. Then let's pause the video, try it to the best of your ability, resume the video when you need some hints. Once again, I ask that you try your hardest to read and understand and solve the question before you watch to the answer. I think that the best way to get feedback is to try the problem first. So number 4 reads, Petra jogs 3 miles in 27 minutes. At this rate, how long would it take her to jog 5 miles? Show your work. So my first hint to you is that I believe they're giving you the information backwards. You would not want to set this up as 3 miles over 27 minutes. You could, but you wouldn't want to. It would be a bad habit. We would want to figure out a running rate in minutes per miles, as in minutes over miles. So the first step to me is to set this up as 27 minutes over 3 miles. And so now some kids might be stuck on what to do here. And so I would remind you that on the campers and cabin problem, the first method is to simplify to find the unit rate. And that would be a great way to solve this one. And let me show you really quickly why we wouldn't want to try to solve this using equivalent rates. If I reread the second sentence, at this rate, how long would it take her to jog 5 miles? If I tried to set this up as an equivalent rate, miles would go on the bottom because we have to be consistent with the way we set up our units. And on the top would be a question mark or an X or something like that to prove that I don't know, because it says how long would it take, so that's the number of minutes. Now if you look at this, it should be super confusing. You can't actually multiply 3 by a whole number to get 5. 3 times what is 5? You're thinking to yourself, that doesn't make sense. So that's actually kind of an example of how this is probably not the best method. Rather, I would find the unit rate. And so do you remember how to find the unit rate? It's when the second term, we don't want the second term to be 3 miles, so we want it to be 1 mile. And this one's going to make a lot more sense mathematically. How do we get from 3 miles to 1 mile? Well, we would divide by 3. And if you divide the second term by 3, you have to divide the first term by 3. So 27 divided by 3 is 9 minutes. Now, if you think to yourself, well, Mr. Smith, you're just not answering the question. The question didn't ask for how many minutes it takes her to run 1 mile. It asks how many minutes it takes her to run 5 miles. And I would say precisely, because now I can very easily multiply the second term by what to get 5 miles, because that's what I want to know. How long does it take her to run 5 miles? Well, I can just multiply by 5. And if I multiply the second term by 5, I need to multiply the first term by 5. 9 times 5 is 45 minutes. So if you look from left to right there, you see that we did a 2-step process. We took the numbers given to us and we simplified it to a unit rate. Then we multiplied it by 5 to find our desired information, which was 45 minutes for 5 miles. Really, we should probably write a short sentence. It takes Petra 45 minutes to run 5 miles. I'm just going to put a period there. And I did show my work, all these rates, and divide 3 and times 5. That is showing my work. Alrighty, let's move ahead to the guided practice.